have a feel for those nearly as much. But Star Wars is fairly easy to write. So the most worrisome was the don't mess this up type of book.
What did you think of the way Mara died in Sacrifice?
What did I think of the way Mara died in Sacrifice? I disagreed with the whole concept of killing her off for a couple of different reasons. Not just because she was my creation. She's too useful a character. She's got a unique position in the Star Wars universe. She's a good foil for Luke and her companions for Luke. It's got the Imperial background, is a kick-butt sort of character. And you don't want to kill off somebody like that when he or she can still be useful. And secondly, it doesn't seem to me that killing off characters is what Star Wars is about. If it was, Han would have died in Return of the Jedi, which apparently Harrison Ford asked to do. If killing off secondary characters, main secondary tier or second tier characters was Star Wars, Lando or Wedge would not have made it out of that second Death Star explosion. So I take my cue from those that killing them off is not. I understand the problem that if you get too many characters who are inviolable, that some writers can't write tension without everybody being at risk. But I also, from what I know of how she was killed, it didn't seem like that's the way it would work. I mean, at least they dropped a moon on Chewie. By the way, speaking of not telling me that they were going to kill off Mara, it was about 2 weeks before Vector Prime came out that it suddenly occurred to somebody, maybe we should tell Peter Mayhew that his character is about to be killed, do you think? So he was late on the information list on that one too, so at least I got good company. If you ever meet Peter Mayhew, his hand wraps around yours about 1.5 times. Amazing. Other questions?
How do you do your research to stay consistent with canon, like all this, like for instance, Star Wars knowledge?
How do I stay consistent? That has been an increasingly knotty problem. There are something like 140 adult science fiction Star Wars novels out, not counting the children's, juveniles, teens, art books, cross sections, everything else. 140 of them. Fortunately, the two-word answer to that is Leland Chi, who is the keeper of the Holocron. He keeps all of this stuff together. The comic book people, the novel people, the game people, all report stuff to him, and every probably month or two, he issues a new copy of this thing called the Holocron, the CD-ROM that they give to new writers or returning writers that theoretically has everything that has been done in Star Wars and is about to be done in Star Wars. So if I have a question on, for example, what is Lando doing at a particular time in the timeline, I can just throw the CD-ROM in my computer, type in Lando, and read everything that's known about him and see if what I'm planning will contradict. Leland will also get, when I get my outline for the next book, he'll be part of the approval process and looking over and seeing if there's anything blatant that jumps out of it. So in the early days of the Bantam series, we have nothing like that, and it was all seat of the pants flying, and it showed in some places. But it has gotten a lot better since then. So basically, I'm relying on Leland to keep up to date. The other trick is to pick an era where nobody is writing at the moment, so I'm not going to be writing at cross purposes with somebody else at the same time. Yeah, good one.
Are there any possibilities that you might bring Mara back, like Holocron or something like that?
Any chance that somebody will bring Mara back? Well, I'm of the opinion that in Star Wars, when somebody's dead, they stay dead. This is not comic books. Well, there are Star Wars comic books, but you know what I mean. You can't keep bringing back Dr. Octopus or the Green Goblin forever. There is the whole Force Ghost thing, and somebody was suggesting the other day that I might think about a story of Ben kind of solo, but with Luke and Mara as Force Ghosts guiding him. So that's a possibility. I don't think we can bring her back unless they reboot the whole series, which would be a nightmare for everybody involved. So, you know, the best I can do is go back and write at eras where she's still alive. Disney had the same problem in the 50s. They did a 3-part Davy Crockett thing on their TV show that ended with him at the Alamo, you know, fade to black, or the Alamo was taken. It was a huge hit, and they said, you know, we've got this great character we can use, we just killed him off. So the Davy Crockett TV series naturally went back in time to earlier days, and the best parts were back in the coonskin cap and went on. So as long as there are eras where I can still write Mara, she'll never be entirely dead, right? Lives on in our hearts.
What do you do the way they actually brought Mara back into the Jago?
Oh, they brought her back in what?
Let's say the Jago. I don't remember which one. They brought her back into the Jago.
They brought her back as a Force Ghost, or?
Sure.
Okay, I'm not familiar with this. Tell me more.
I don't want to explain too much.
Is it one of the comic book series?
No. Book. Novels.
Okay, well, talk to me afterwards, because nobody has mentioned bringing her back in any way, shape, or form except possibly a Force Ghost. Okay, people got to keep me in the loop. So yeah, talk to me afterwards. Trajectory. You'll have to come a little closer.
Which one is your favorite of George Lucas's characters, and which one is your favorite of your Star Wars characters?
Thank you. I'm older, noise. Favorite of George Lucas's, it's hard to say. When I turned in the manuscript for Heir of the Empire, my editor called and asked me if Han was my favorite character. And I said, I don't know. I mean, I like Luke too. Why would you ask? And she said, well, you gave Han all the best lines. But to be fair, George gave him the best lines first before I got there, so it seems really fair. I don't know. I like Han just as the rogue, as the quick thinker, as the guy who kind of plays outside the lines. On the other hand, lightsabers are really cool. So hard to tell. As of my own character, it's probably a toss-up between Thrawn and Mara. Mara is just fun to write as she runs amok, you know, making trouble for everybody. Thrawn is a more cool, tactical genius. Mara is easier to write because Thrawn is smarter than I am. So I have to really work to keep up with him. But those two, Card is probably a close third. And there's a surprising number of people who like Elion and Gens. Gens, the ultimate slicer, who's really kind of oblivious to everything but his computers. Somehow that's one of them. Any future plans for the Hands of Judgment stormtroopers? Well, they're in choices. I don't have any other plans at the moment. With Star Wars, things can change by the minute. I have to anticipate another question. I had talked with Shelley at Comic-Con and pitched an idea that we've been talking about for probably a year, and that was running up against the Lucasfilm law. And suddenly the restrictions seem to have been removed. It's a little up in the air, so I'm not going to talk about it. But the Lucasfilm people who were at Comic-Con were on board with it. So the next step will be for me to do an outline, get it officially approved by Lucasfilm. And once that is up and running, once we got approval, I can talk a little about it. I'll probably post it on my Facebook page. All over. So no idea about them, but I do have another story, possibly two. We were talking about two Shelley's now, thinking maybe we should hold off on the second part of it until we clear this one piece of it. Lucasfilm can be funny about that. They allow something and not allow other, and there's not necessarily a rhyme or reason. There's also the whole question about what the live action show will do if it ever gets up and running, and what the Clone Wars series is doing now. Anything in that era or anything using a character in the future is a moving target. As all of you who were following, I think Shem Travis had a Clone Wars or a Clone Trooper series that kind of got demolished run over by the stuff in the TV series. And of course, all the backstory of that got run over for the prequel movies. So it can be risky to work for Lucasfilm. You might find yourself suddenly in an alternate universe.
Should the live action series take off, do you think they will use any of your characters? Would you allow that?
Would they use any of my characters in the live action? Again, everything I write is owned by Lucasfilm, so there's no need to get my permission or anything else. They've used Thrawn and Mara in a couple of the video games. Usually the first I hear about it is when somebody I know buys it and plays it and says, "Oh, Mara's in this game, by the way, did you know?" And my answer is always no. So it would be a really cool homage, or if they did use something that I've done. I've got at least a couple of things I think of mine that I think made it into movies. Coruscant was my original name for the Imperial planet that was used in the prequel movies. Also, and again, it could be parallel development on mine and George's parts, but I think I was the first one to come up with the idea of catching Force lightning on a lightsaber blade.